when you fuck with my mind. Like that we're wrong, can't keep it right. No, no. Poison, but we're perfect. See the revenge in your eyes. Spare the goodbyes, replace them with fights. Oh, put a gun, hand on the trigger. Can't pull the trigger, consumed by a figure. Me and you make one messed up masterpiece. Disaster filled dream bound to be going up in flames. You know I love the pain. We're going up in flames. We're going up, we're going. Twice round, you come round to me. Bound to be bad for me. Bad for each other. Keep making your messes mine. My mind is just mad at time. Down for this fire. They strike the lighter. We're going up in flames. You know I love the pain. We're going up in flames. We're going up, we're going.
Control, will you help me?
When I lost control, we are lost. Yeah, we lost control. Yeah, we lost control.
Love about a liquor boy, will you hit me up? I lost control. Will you help me? Love about a liquor boy, will you hit me up? I lost control. Will you help me?
Bye. just you and me. It's my voice talking cheap on the telephone. It's where I've been. It's the proof that I waited to say I'm wrong. Stuck inside my head that November. You know I never been the type to get up and surrender. That's how I feel. I don't ask, you don't sell, find a way to deal. Standing in the sun mid-December, listening to the songs that I know you love. Take me back in time when we used to fly miles above. I don't wanna come back down. It's everything. It's the clothes that you left with your memory. I've been battling with the ghosts from the past like it's poetry. And every time I think things are better, I end up at the start, colder heart than the weather. That's how I feel. I don't ask, you don't tell, moving on for real. Standing in the sun mid-December, listen to the songs that I know you love. Take me back in time when we used to fly miles above. I don't wanna come back down. I don't wanna come back down. No, I don't wanna come back down. No. Standing in the sun mid-December, listening to the songs that I know you love. Take me back in time when we used to fly miles above. I don't wanna come back down. I don't wanna come back down. I don't wanna come back down. Ooh, I don't wanna come back down. No, 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 don't wanna come back down. No, 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 don't wanna come back down.
Please hold me close and let me stay until the sunrise. Just say you'll hold me forever, at least for tonight. It's been so long since I got so close to someone. I know this ain't love, but let me stay a while. And pull me closer tonight, keep holding my hand. I know this ain't love, but let me stay the night. I said let me stay a while. 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 I said let me stay a No, I don't need a degree to know this ain't love at first sight. got my ABCs right. Oh, so let's play pretend. Say you'll be the one for me. Say you'll be the one for me forever. I know this will end tonight, but you'll be the one for me. Say you'll be the one for me. It's been so long since I got so close to someone. I know this ain't love, but let me stay a while. And pull me closer tonight. Keep holding my hand. I know this ain't love, but let me stay the night. I said let me stay a while. 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 And I said let me stay a
Hold on to me. Never let me close your eyes. Only got one night. Just put your trust in me. Give me everything. I need your love tonight. So baby, please don't fight it. Put your trust in me. I'll give you everything. So hold on to me. Never let me go. Right here in your arms is where I wanna be. Close your eyes, only got one night. Just put your trust in me. Give me everything. I need your love tonight. So baby, please don't fight it. Put your trust in me. I'll give you everything. So hold on to me. Never let me go. Right here in your arms is where I wanna be.
you're afraid, but it'll be okay if you just stay with me. And we can run from here, and we can disappear, and they won't find us where we are going, dear. So baby, hold on to me, 'cause I know I can make you believe in something that only we can see. Oh, so baby, hold on to me, hold on to me. Baby, wait, I know that you're afraid, but it'll be okay if you just stay with me. And we can run from here, and we can disappear, and they won't find us where we are going, dear. So baby, hold on to me, 'cause I know I can make you believe in something that only we can see. Oh, so baby, hold on to me, hold on to me. Everybody's telling me love is not it seems to be, first though you don't want it to. I bet I walk my way, let the hum of voices fade, living the way I do. Here I am all tired, trying to collect my thoughts, silly words from yesterday. I like to lose my mind every time when you're around. I have so much to say.
evening, and welcome to this week's installment of Boise State Esports Gridiron Rivals Series. I'm your host, Jacob Jen Mountain Palmer, and like we've been doing the past few weeks, we are facing off against rivals that Boise State is going to be facing in football in a various lineup of esports matches with Rocket League, then moving on to League of Legends, and finally Overwatch. We're looking to continue some momentum that we've seen last week with Boise State going 3-0 in all the games, and now this week we hope they can continue that. Joining me on desk as you have seen, is Jared Baratel Castiglione. You've
Hello.
seen him. And we've got a new face on desk, too, Kevin Ozcat Kerrigan. It's nice to see you, too.
Nice to see
Welcome
you,
to
too.
the desk. How does this feel to be up here?
It's honestly great. I love this area. I love being on desk. I'm just so excited to be talking about Rocket League today. This is what I'm all about.
Yeah, well, speaking of Rocket League, we had a great match last week going 5-0, I believe, in most of the matches anyway. Boise State was very dominant in the games last week. Are we looking to continue that momentum? What are we looking at in terms of the starting lineup?
So, of course, for the side of Boise State University, we do have the patented Cosmo Buster startup, followed with Ace Pocket, and then in the wings, but definitely not to be counted out at all, is Elsie Coro. And you have a little bit more kind of hands-on experience with these players and their play style. Are they, ones that kind of work in well tandem together?
Yeah, I would say, honestly, they work really well as a team.
Mm-hmm.
If you catch them 1v1, maybe not so much, but when they are together, they shine. They're really good at
shots
passing to
fired.
each other. Well,
Yeah.
I'm just going to be honest. Yeah, I would say Cosmo is very good at seeking out passes and receiving them, and Elsie Coro just dishes those out.
Fair enough. And then on the other side of things, their opponents today is going to be the University of Oregon, the Ducks, going to be Duskippy, Leland, and AJC. And hopefully they're going to be able to dismantle the kind of cohesion that Boise State has kind of demonstrated so far this season.
Yeah, you were really bringing up a good point there, Ozcat, is that the communication, when it's working, this team really shines. We saw we've seen before that when they struggle to start or are underperforming, it's usually because they haven't gotten down, calling out all the positions and opportunities they need to. But once they get that done, man, they are on top of it.
Yeah.
And are there any sort of changes that we've seen, in the past couple weeks that would kind of influence the play style to lean towards, more aggressive, more passive, or things have kind of, remained the same for these past couple weeks, these patches?
Nothing seems too different so far. I did get a hint from Cosmo that he's lately been solo queuing a lot, so maybe we'll see a little bit of more star shining from individual
Right.
plays by him, but
Okay.
we'll have to see.
And this is going to be a fantastic display of course, Rocket League here to begin with. And then shortly after, we will have League of Legends. But that being said, we are close to getting into this game. Jacob, what do you think the score is going to be? What would your predictions be from this point?
Well,
I know you're like right on point. Usually.
I know. I'm not. I mean, last week we saw a lot of 5-0s, and I think in the last game it was 4. I kind of lamented how it would have been kind of a nice little bow on top if they finished each game with 5 goals. That's a lot, though. But seeing as how this team is talented, I'd like to see probably at least 3 goals per game. I mean, you never know. I mean, a win is a win. I'll take any win we can get. But
3 goals total or 3 per player?
No, not per player, per game.
Oh my goodness.
But if they want to shoot high for the stars and impress all of us, they can try 3 per player.
I think that might be possible. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than usual. If we recall how close we have had competitions with Oregon before, the Ducks really put up a good fight. Looks like we're getting right into this match. A little bit of aggressive front coming out from Cosmo Buster, trying to get some of that precious fuel to negate any sort of aggression from the enemy side of things. This actually might be a replay. The graphic is telling the truth. Regardless, it's going to be awesome anyway.
Yeah, replay or live, we can certainly see what makes Boise State tick here, and hopefully if this is live and they're doing well, it's a sign of things to come. If it's a replay
Right.
and they're doing well, it's also a sign of things to come.
Yeah, things that have or may have happened. Maybe this is even in the future. Maybe this is some awesome foresight that Dr. Haskell has provided us, which would be incredible.
Yeah, I would be willing to bet, though, that this is live. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Awesome. So again, it looks like not too much of a one-sided event so far. Both teams want to do what they can to kind of gauge the aggression possible from the enemy side. So definitely want to gauge that. And Leland shutting down with that instant demolition, giving them a little bit of a man advantage. Going to dribble down the middle side of the field. Not too much commitment though, as they are not able to get the precious fuel. A shot on goal by Ace Pocket gets blocked by Leland again, and they go back forward another left side flank. And another shot, maybe potentially getting lined up here. Going to be an opportunity for Boise State to maybe swoop in. LC Core on the wing side of things, trying to maybe get a nice cheeky little shot. Unfortunately, able to do so.
Yeah, so far this game seems very even. Both teams were going for demos, trying to get the upper hand, as we can see one right there. But so far, everything seems very even. Boise State's keeping up the pressure here, though, on their half. Ace Pocket's going to be playing back, looking for the clear.
Definitely, and they want to make sure that, again, any of these aggressive kind of attacks get shut down. Like you were saying before, these kind of 1v1s are being easily shut down by the demolition. Immediately, those rotations are having to be, attended to, and then that causes any sort of formula to be dismantled there at that point.
A high ball by Oregon gets blocked by Cosmo. That was good defense by him there.
Leland taking himself off the defensive end, maybe going to get a little bit more aggressive during the rest of the match, giving a shot on goal, and a little bit of a little worry in the hearts of Boise State fans here as they go for another shot on goal. Possibly Cosmo Buster going to get the ball further away from there as intended. LC Kerr going to go for the dribble, maybe an assist down the left side. A shot on goal misses though. The miscalculation from the corner. Unfortunately, Ace Pocket is going to go for another bounce though, and the assist is not going to be successful with securing that goal.
Oregon's just keeping up their defense with those close calls back there. We'll have to see if maybe they can sneak one in. I'm betting it's going to be Cosmo here pretty soon. Such a close double touch by him right there.
And you almost felt it in the soul of your heart, though, those oohs, those ahs, as they were barely able to secure almost that goal. But unfortunately, just a miscalculation on the angle puts them back on the defensive foot. And they are being put to the limit so far that this round is. They are not able to get any sort of combination of attack to get the ball on the other side of the map. Unfortunately, they do have to hold them off with the fuel and the very little fuel that they have here. Not really sure what they can do to get out of this. When it comes down to it, when you're in this position, what do you have to do to break away from this defensive front that you have to put up?
So right here, Oregon is putting so much pressure that Boise's not able to get much boost. And the only way you can really combat that is by going with a risky play, having someone playing up in order to be able to clear the ball, because you have to be able to beat the other team to the ball. But when you have no boost, you have to play a risky position.
And it looks like they're just doing that. Cosmo Buster going for that risky play, gets the demolition, resets the man advantage, and gets the aggressive front back on the side for the opportunity for Boise State to calculate. 1 minute remaining in the round is going to be something that maybe they can work up together. A shot going down the left side of the field to only be returned by what can only be Leland, as he's been in prime position for defense here and attack.
Lots of ping pong going on here.
Right.
Ball going back and forth.
Are we watching Rocket League or is this Pong? I'm not sure.
Oh, close one there by Ace Pocket.
Cosmo Buster not willing to relent. Another shot on goal. Maybe the assist, maybe for LC Core is going to be in the wings, but unfortunately 30 seconds only remain. This aggression cannot be let up as they do have the fuel advantage. Are they able to secure this? Boise State fans cheer, but unfortunately Skippy skipping on over, getting that ball in the left side flank. And this is a fantastic setup. It looks like from Leland over the side left pocket, and then that corner tap right into the top right corner of the goal. Fantastic shot, actually.
Great realization to see you can follow up that ball and maybe get a goal out of that. That's what you really need to do in these scenarios with close games like this.
Yeah, and that heads up kind of head-to-head action is what we like to see from Boise State. Not willing to give up this game so far. Only 10 seconds, but that's enough time to get a goal and maybe go into overtime afterwards. Cosmo Buster going for the defense, maybe trying to clear the air. Unfortunately able to do so, but as long as this ball stays in the air, Boise State has a chance to score. They are unfortunately unable to do so, and the first round goes to University of Oregon.
You know it's a close game when the only goal was a mechanical single-person goal like that. It's not a team play. It's not a team dominating the other one. It's just one of those goals that happens to get by.
Well, and speaking of team plays, did you see anything in that first game? Because we were talking about communication with Boise State. Did you see, were they working cohesively as a team, backing each other up, or were there did you see from their performance any potential miscommunications?
It seemed like they had the right idea, but with the amount of pressure that Oregon was putting on, they couldn't quite position each other correctly to be able to pass to each other. It seemed like there was a few double commits. I mean, they're really good at recognizing when they're about to double commit, so they don't both totally go for the ball, but they're not spread out good enough to be able to really fend off Oregon here in that first game.
And then when it comes down to it, just hindsighting everything, those two crucial misses on goal, very fantastic setups, got the ball to pretty much the post of the goal, and then just, what was that, just misexecution or?
That's what it seems like so far. I mean, with that amount of pressure that both teams are putting on each other, with that amount of close game, or with that, how close that game was,
right.
It really just comes down to whether you are able to pull off that shot or not.
Crazy enough, it was like a one-score game. Also, coincidentally, there was only one score in the entire game as well. So, this may be just because these teams are kind of waking up. Of course, scrimmages and everything can only go so far, but maybe this competitive nature is something that, you need to warm up to a little bit, and hopefully Boise State is coming in this warmed up. They look to be a little bit aggressive, get the head versus head, get the possession and the aggression here on the backside. Ace Pocket as well as Cosmo Buster are going to sit in the back line to make sure this midfield is not given up for free.
Good pressure here by Boise.
Boise State want to go forward. Broncos want to stampede forward. Demolition from Cosmo Buster gives them the man advantage. Hopefully they're able to push forward and get something out of this. Unfortunately not, as Leland is going to be able to get another setup. Hopefully, for them, they want to get another 1-2 punch with Goose Skippy, as it did prove very fruitful the first time.
Right there, you could see Cosmo playing up for a pass by Ace Pocket. Very well to keep up the pressure and keep the ball moving forward, to put more pressure on Oregon there.
And another demolition, giving them just enough moments to catch their breath before the respawn. But this aggressive front from the Ducks is actually proving pretty detrimental. Boise State can't seem to get something together. And as I say so, Ace Pocket's going to dribble down the right side from the mid. Unfortunately, not able to commit to a score as it gets dismantled. And a long shot from AJC is going to dunk it for the Ducks.
Let's see what happens here.
I think it's just a nice dribble, really.
Yeah, AJC right there doing that fake jump before makes LC Core thinks he's going to hit the ball earlier, so he doesn't challenge early enough, and then it ends up being a goal.
A little bunny hop action there.
Yep.
And it doesn't look like the head-to-head is something that we want to contest here on the side of Boise State. They're really wanting to consolidate their efforts to focusing on fuel, so that way those kinds of plays can't happen as frequently. You do get the opportunity to jump into the air as quickly as possible with the fuel. And a nice send from LC Coro. Look at these emotes. Holy cow. Boise State. Anybody? And a shot on goal. AJC, though, coming up big is just, I don't know, maybe just a missed rotation here.
That flip reset was crucial for him right there. It just unfortunately caused an own goal from Ace Pocket, looks like right there, but so much pressure putting on right there by AJC.
Yeah, looking a little closer at AJC from Oregon State. He's from California, but he knew he wanted to visit or go to Oregon since he was in middle school. He went on the campus and he said he knew immediately he wanted to spend his next 4 years here. Well, I'd say just like he wanted to be on the campus, he immediately knows what he's going to do here, and he scores 2 goals against Boise State, giving Oregon a surmountable lead with about 3 minutes left.
You can only hope that your college career goes as well as this game's gone so far for AJC. But, that being said, maybe Boise State can be those dreadful midterms that kind of unseat a lot of progression for college. Perhaps, of course. But that being said, I hope everyone's, tests and exams are going very well. Don't want to cause any anxiety. No trigger warnings here.
Yeah, it's still it's a best-of-7 game. Still a lot to play here, so hopefully Boise State can get it together. They might hear it. Nope, almost off the crossbar there.
A little bit of, a misplay, perhaps mechanically, but maybe just, a read from the Ducks not knowing that they had to commit anything in terms of resources for that block, because it was going to be a miss anyway. But Boise State, again, unrelenting in this pressure. They know that they're not, they haven't figured out quite the code to crack the offense from the Ducks, so they don't want to keep this ball on this side of the field. They want to make sure that this is as far away from their goal as possible.
That's a very good point there.
Yeah.
You can see Cosmo constantly playing upfield, waiting for those passes, maybe to be able to crack their defense, because that seems like that's going to be their ticket out here.
Yeah, and it does look like the Ducks have practiced these little cheeky plays. As you said before, those flicks, those kind of fake outs. So far, 2, maybe even 3 times have caught Boise State with their pants down. So they can't really afford to let up. And Boise State, as we've seen before, has been a team that when in the driver's seat really don't, don't relinquish that control of that driver's seat. And it's been this evident so far. These past 2 minutes have just been blue and orange. But unfortunately, that does not mean that you're able to win the round with possession of the ball if you can't score. And it looks like it's going to be something that Ace Pocket's going to go for. A long drive is going to be jumped by AJC, but a backup from Cosmo Buster, maybe the tip for the 1-2.
Good center
Bouncing
there.
off the side. Unfortunately dismantled again from the Ducks. They're unable to get these plans together, and what needs to be the glue? What's going to be, the final component, the catalyst for these points that Boise State so desperately needs?
Oh, close one there. I do believe if one of the Boise State reps, let's say Cosmo, if he starts dribbling the ball, he may be able to get one of the Oregon players to commit early and create an opening. It seems like they're not taking enough time on the ball here, which may be a factor in why they're losing.
So you think shots on goal are being they're too hasty, so to speak?
Yeah,
The
they're
trigger
being,
finger's too itchy. So
yeah, too early. You need to create a little bit better openings here.
That's fair. I mean, it does open an opportunity for misplays, right? As we've seen so far, Boise State getting these 2 goals initially to a little bit of a cheeky little misplay, and unfortunately Leland again just coming up the rear from the mid side and not able to be stopped. A fantastic assist from Duskippy, get the 1-2 punch, and there was no one in rotation, and the bounce off that left post actually securing that goal.
Yeah, that's one of those bounces you just can't do anything about. It's just such a good place shot that
Can't
it
do
just
anything
goes in.
bounce. I'm sorry, I'll leave. Just kidding, I'm here for forever. Also kidding about that.
One difference I've been noticing is Boise State certainly has been trying to set up plays that they can play off each other and try to get a goal like this, but you see Oregon, like right there, they've been right on top of it, whereas Boise State, there have been multiple times this round where Oregon has just been able to get the ball to hang in front of their goal for multiple seconds. Just such wide windows whenever Boise State's tried to do it. Oregon's right there to bop it right back with hardly any room for error.
And I think it might just have to be something to do with, in tandem communication as well as just this immense amount of pressure that these Ducks are able to, fly together and attack with. And that ball has not touched the ground. Boise State had a chance to maybe get a point, but then that thing kind of just careened into the earth.
Jared, I know you're trying to get so many puns under the radar with the Ducks flying there, but just let you know I'm not here to let you get away with all of those.
Oh, a crime most foul, would you say?
Okay, I set that one up. I take full blame for that one.
Fair enough. And that's okay because, much like a feather, we all stick together.
Yes, but speaking of sticking together to get back on track here,
Exactly.
we're trying to yes, you set me up, I set you up. That's just how we go. But what are we seeing from Boise State? It's just we're seeing. I know we're talking a lot about Oregon's aggression, but also just their defense has been so good. They haven't been allowing Boise State to have any time to follow up. I am thinking mostly about those times where the ball just hangs in front of the goal for a good 3 to 5 seconds. And Boise State's had a lot of that with their goal, but Oregon State isn't letting any of that through.
Yeah, I think some of that has to do with U of O. The way that they use their defense is so efficient. They have one person waiting till the perfect opportunity. A lot of defenses, you can see a problem where a person will go up earlier than they need to try to block something that isn't there quite yet, but it seems like U of O, they're just doing really good about having that last person back, waiting for that one touch to be able to clear it, not doing it too early.
And I think, like you said, with the introduction of maybe a more dribble-focused play style from the Broncos, they might be able to secure a round victory that they so desperately need, creating a little bit more pressure than just having it go loftily into the air with no real clear plan of attack. And it might be something that's going on right now as LC Cora goes for a little bit of a ground play. A little bit too much boost, sends it into the air and right into the hands, the feathers, the wings of the Ducks as they continue to attack in a V formation. Just kidding, there's no quacks here. And they continue to go forward with this. And this continued aggression is almost tireless. They continue to get the resources that they need. The fuel's not being denied. And then the setups in the earlier round, were being kind of dismantled, I guess, again, to be repetitive. Leland again from the mid lane, just all the way down this entire facet of scoring. AJC with the setup, the 1-2, and again, the misread. Cosmo Buster did not get there for that bounce, that flick.
You could actually see him get bumped earlier, which actually took him off course a little bit. He wasn't able to get to the ball there in time. Very unfortunate.
It is all a big chess game, and wow. Duskippy, the instant 1-2 from the head-to-head This is just going to be an instant setup from AJC, and actually a little bit of an assist here from Broncos as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunate there, but 2 points with 4 minutes remaining. We've seen crazier things. This is
That's for sure.
anywhere far from gone.
We're talking so much about mentality and trying to reset yourself. This is a position that Boise State put their opponents in last week, too. So now that Boise State's kind of in this position of just nothing momentum, Oregon State, what do you do mentally to refocus yourself and prevent yourself from, say, tilting and not performing as well?
So, in my experience, a lot of tilting comes from that you feel like you can't beat these guys. Like, that they're doing everything and you won't be able to get to the ball. But if you get yourself in that mind state that, like, you know what, I can play better than these people, you'll start to play more confidently, and usually that leads into you being able to beat them to the ball, which hopefully here Boise State will be able to start doing so they can score some goals.
LC Coro trying to set up for the pass from downfield, but not able to get the ball away from the side of Boise State. And again, for the Ducks, this is proving very instrumental so far with their success. And Boise State really needs to figure out a way to kind of decipher what's going on here, what the plan of attack is from the Ducks, and how best to counter it. And it just seems that having a better offense will be beneficial because they just can't figure out this defense so far.
Yeah, you can see the save by LC Core there. Very, very good timing. One of the U of O players was going for a double touch there. Surprised he actually saved that. Like, that was a very good save.
And again, the first sign of life from this round from Boise State as they get 2 men on the side of the Ducks, but instantly gets shattered as, again, they just unite together and send the ball on the other side for the Broncos. Shot on goal. Unfortunately, LC Core would not have been able to block as he just got demoed. That was almost a perfect play. Cosmo Buster's going to have to retreat here as he needs to help his allies in defending his own goal. The aggression from Oregon State is ridiculous in the fact that it is not stopping. They haven't had like a chance to even see their own color of field so far.
Yeah, and you can see that aggression that they are putting out is causing Boise to have a little bit of positioning there. Some of them are getting too close to each other, and it just makes it easier, and it's kind of like a positive reinforcement strategy.
There we go, but good clear there.
Leads into a goal.
I don't want to say anything, but this is a dribble play, 100%.
Yes, it is.
And
He took his time there.
Exactly what they needed to do. They needed to go with a little bit time to breathe, get the resources, go from fuel to fuel, and get the free dribble off for a goal. And this is only a 1-point game again. So Boise State maybe having a clear idea of what can work against this team, as both are not able to maybe figure out the defenses needed to hold off the aggression.
You can see Cosmo actually going for the patience there. You saw him, it worked out for him earlier when he got that goal. I'd like to see more of that. I think that's going to really help us pull through here.
And a good read from the Ducks as they know that the high-flying ball action, it might be something of note, but not able to be completely capitalized on. Boise State needed to be sending back to their own goal with this long shot, almost driving it like a sniper, but luckily able to get things secured here in terms of defense.
Ooh, the demo there, very crucial. Just kind of messing up the defense is what Oregon's doing there.
Yeah, they're forcing a lot of rotations, both with the pressure and these demos that seem to be happening, you would think, almost haphazardly, but I think that there's clear intention behind that.
For sure.
One thing you can hear in the arena is even though no matter how things look for Boise State, the audience and fans are always here for them. That's one of the great things when you're down here in the Game Pants Arena. Yeah, you can hear them right now.
Yeah.
It's always great. So if you want to come down and root on for Boise, we welcome you anytime.
Where are we located again?
On the corner of Front and Capitol.
Yeah. And this is going to be something that Boise State really needs the energy to go forward with, both in terms of fuel as well as your support. They are able to maybe get one, maybe even 2 plays out of these next 20 seconds to tie up the round. A nice almost shot here from Ace Pocket with the 1-2 setup, but again, AJC's in the wings ready to defend against it. Deuce Skippy's going to go for a shot on goal. It's going to be stopped by LC Coro. And another fantastic aggressive front from the Ducks might be able to secure another round for them. Boise State going to go in for maybe one final play. 1 second left, but unfortunately, it does look like it's going to touch the floor. It does not do so. Unfortunately, Leland there stopping anything from Boise State to get set up with.
And still great applause from the audience, great support here. You know, one other thing that I really like about just the atmosphere and looking at all the information from all the players from both Boise State and Oregon, one thing I noticed is that we've got an entire representation across both teams of the entire West Coast. We've got people from California, people from Washington, and obviously people going to both Oregon and Boise State. So we got all sorts of people from all around this region competing, and that's one of the great things about colleges that support esports is that we get people, both Oregon and Boise, it's able to bring in more students who might not have considered this, but when they see everything that's going on here, it's great and they want to get involved.
Yeah, there's a real sense of community here. You can, I mean, like you were saying earlier, the crowd, such a great positive reinforcement for our teams here. And it doesn't matter where you're from. We're all here to have a good time, and that's what I think is beautiful about esports, especially here in Boise.
And I will point out, from last week, I do hear the cowbell has returned, so that is nice.
I have been hearing that. Yeah. Oh, we're turning into football games now. So,
yep.
Oh my gosh, can we get those what are those? Those cinnamon sugar
pecans
and almonds, please? Anybody?
Probably.
You're out there, please.
Well, let's focus on this match here because Boise State needs to win this if they want to keep the series going.
Yeah, they want to not give Oregon that sweet cinnamon glazed victory that they've been working so hard towards. And Boise State, this is the time for them to put it all on the mat, on the ground, on the map. What is this map called again? I do like the big trophy, though, I will be honest. And again, Boise State knowing that their aggression is their only key to victory. They need to get this ball off their side of the field. Otherwise, again, their point lead is just going to be too insurmountable for them to maybe go over. A left emphasis here from the side of Boise State in terms of defense. Right time.
Good pass there.
Yeah, fantastic pass. Unfortunately, not able to be capitalized. But it does not get, captured from the side of the Ducks. So the fact that they don't have possession of this ball gives them a chance for the long shot. AJC barely able to get it. The Cosmobusters in the wings for the setup. Thanks, AJC, for the 1-2.
Right there, Ace Pocket booming it on net causes so much panic. They actually happen to bump each other. Easy open net for Cosmo there. Great play.
Good read, too, because you saw where he was. He was on the left side defensive side for the field. He ran it down the mid and then got right in position for the tap. And this is just maybe the sign of why Boise State needs to have. Their horses are raring. How much horsepower do these cars have? We're about to find out. So far, it's 1-0 this round.
Okay, Jared, you really need to dial it back just a little bit here.
Fair enough.
I'm loving it.
I got one supporter. And another supporter for Ace Pocket as he goes for the one shot from the long con. They might continue to go at these long boomers. Cora going for the tap. Unfortunately, Skippy put himself in a great position to defend and get the pass out, but Boise State, they might have figured it out. This aggression, Cosmobuster going for a cheeky play in the air, coming down as well. Elsie Corey going for a shot, and he gets it from the assist from the sky. Boise State, we're here.
So much team organization going on here. You could see Elsie Coro earlier going up for that ball that Cosmo boomed up. So much teamwork here.
And just like you were saying, AJC crucially went for the flick before Elsie Coro had even made an attempt. So it's just that kind of apprehension that you get when you're faced up against that 1v1 that's causing Boise State to get a nice little lead here. Unfortunately, Skippy's going to pull up one as well. Let's see how this one unfolded.
Very unfortunate. It looks like it bounced off the back of LC Coro. Kind of a little bit of a unfortunate accident there. It happens every once in a while. Yep.
Lag? We can't lag here. I've seen the internet. It's impossible. Cosmo Buster not giving up this head-to-head anymore. Boise State really charging into this with as much aggression, calculated, of course, as possible. LC Cora going down the left flank and enough support here in the wings and the left and mid side. This ball's not going to get too far. Unfortunately, he does miss it. AJC is going to get the demolition as well. This is catastrophic for BSU. And yeah, Leland's just going to walk it in. The play, the intention right here was perfect, but the execution, that's just where it kind of stings a little bit.
Yeah, it's just those small little things that really change how the game goes. If Ace Pocket had shot that, they probably would have gotten a goal due to all the pressure. I mean, I saw where Oregon's defense was placed.
But that's good, though. They're trying things that are aggressive in nature. They're not having to respond as much anymore. Of course, they had to concede that point because they did kind of mess up in a way that they couldn't defend. But they're the ones in the driver's seat, and they're trying to make these plans of actions. They're playing proactively versus retroactively.
And that is how you change the outcome of these series, is that you start taking control of the games. Even if you're making mistakes, you want to be the one controlling the field here.
Yeah, there's a saying in a lot of games that require this communication. It's not the call, it's how everyone followed the call. If there's full commitment and you messed up or it didn't work, you can learn from that. But if you're going through things and there's miscommunication, miscommitment, there's not much you can do to fix that at all. So I think Boise State's kind of figured it out. You've said before that these three players have a fantastic amount of communication and drive to help each other. So maybe that's what they need to kind of harness in order to get this back in their favor. Tied 2-2, but this is the first time that Boise State's was in the lead. They're contesting the tie right now with that point value.
These clears that Boise State's getting here are messing up Oregon a little bit. Good flip reset by Leland.
Oh my!
It's going to happen to get over both of them.
What a read too. What book is that? Oh, the reset. Reset 101.
Yeah, he actually didn't even connect with the reset there, and I think
two players too.
Yeah, that's what messed up Cosmo. Is he expected him to be able to hit the flip reset, but he didn't have enough time to react to when he didn't.
Didn't get enough time, but maybe this is enough time for them. Cosmo Buster getting a demolition. LC Core in the wings, maybe trying to go from a left to right side flank. A shot on goal is going to bounce, but unfortunately misses the pass. Boise State fed reeling back to the defenses that they just messed up that play. Leland's going to be in the wings for a shot as well. Unfortunately, not able to flap it down. Ace Pocket's going to go for it. His ace in the hole. LC Coro going to go for a shot on goal, but unfortunately not in position for the tap again.
I'm really liking the pressure that Boise's putting here, though. This is how they're going to be able to change these games.
Leland again with the read.
Yeah.
This is interesting because he almost stopped full momentum here as he got possession for dribble, stopped the gas, and then put it on full throttle just for the tap and the reset.
And those were the kind of plays I was talking about earlier where sometimes you don't want to boom the ball. You can mess up the defenders if you take your time, and you may be able to get it past them into a goal like we just saw right there.
So what needs to happen? What has Boise State done so far this round that shows that they could take it back in their favor versus the previous rounds?
Well, so far it seems like they are able to dismantle Oregon's defense quite a bit better. The only thing that they're not come through here is these small little mistakes where they're not able to hit the ball like a certain way, stuff like that.
Right.
If they just got those on point, I could for sure see Boise pulling out the win here.
44 seconds roughly on the clock. Might be enough time for 2 points to get on the board again. We've all seen crazier, especially from your Boise State squad. The Broncos are able to do things even more insurmountable than this. 2 points is nothing. 30 seconds on the clock. A shot on goal for Ace Pocket. Almost, but gets misread as Dewskippy just drives it right out of his sights. But a shot again on goal from Cosmo Buster. Unfortunately unable to connect as the defense from the Ducks is proving insane for them for this 2-point lead.
Yeah, and it's just, as you can see, it's just always that last guy back. He's creating all the difference for Oregon here, keeping them in this game.
They're almost getting these goals, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, they say. So you got to be careful. 1 second on the clock, and unfortunately that ball going to touch the ground. Oregon's going to take the round. Is that also the game?
Yeah, that's going to be all for the series now.
That's all the series. And, all things considered, there were some moments where blue and orange were kind of trying to bleed through, but it was all Ducks this game.
Yeah, if there was a statistic for amount of chances, I might actually have to give it to Boise State. It's just their follow-through was almost not there.
Yeah.
Like, it was so close.
The plan of attack, the intention, the communication, I'm sure, was there. It was just dialing just a little bit further to get that execution. Yeah. That would have been a much different series.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, a 0-4 loss for Boise in this round.
You did call it 0 something, didn't you?
I know. I did call. I just I had it the wrong way. I had my wires crossed.
Curse.
I know. I am so sorry for that. Ozcat, though, how was it the first time? Unfortunately, might have been under better circumstances, but still, how did it feel being on the desk?
This is so awesome. Because I play this game probably way too much, and being able to look at the plays that are going on without actually being in it is super interesting, because I can see everything that everyone's doing, and when you're out there on the field, it's quite different because you're mostly focused on what you can do.
Right.
But up here, you are able to see everything that's going on, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah. So as kind of a final word, what would your advice be to the Boise team going forward, and what should they look for if they're looking back on replays of this match and ways they can improve?
I would say definitely for the first few games, they need to focus a little bit more on keeping control of the ball instead of giving it away to the other team. For the most part, I feel like the Broncos were just a little unlucky here. They had, I would say it was a very good series. If we did a rematch again like this in maybe a few months' time, I could definitely see it going the other way. It was not a very one-sided game. It was just a few mistakes. So.
Yeah, a few mistakes and follow-throughs, just some things to polish up here and there, and hopefully there's still a lot more season left, so we'll definitely see more from the team and more from the audience who cheers them on, and more from you out there in Twitch world right now. So stay tuned, because we have more coming up tonight. We've got League of Legends and then Overwatch coming up. So yeah, I know.
I love League of Legends.
He's really excited at that, and you should be too. So if you want to take his advice, which I suggest you do, please stay tuned, and we'll be right back soon.
Say what you want, say what you want, say what you want. Say what you want, say what you want, say what you want. Say what you want, say what you want, say what you want. Say what you want, say what you want, say what you want.
Who's gonna save me? Who's gonna save me? Who's gonna save me? Who's gonna save me? Who's gonna save me?
Say what you want.